Hello. I just wanted to jump on real quick. I was thinking about a very taboo topic that a lot of people don't really like to talk about, but it's the pink elephant in the room that needs to have a conversation. And that topic is addictions. Addictions and addictive behaviors. Yeah. So we're quick, very quick to condemn the drug addict and the alcoholic, those that have like the obvious, outward addictions. But addictions come in all different walks and all different kinds. I mean, we have the shopping addict, we have the sex addict, we have the food addict, we have the gossiping addict, we have all kind of addicts going on in the world and everything. So we have to be mindful of the different addicts and the different habits that form these addictions. So I was thinking about it because a couple of years ago when I was thinking about addictions and I was studying up on it, addictions are formed from unhealthy habits. Whenever we take on unhealthy habits and we continue to do these habits and do these habits to appease a certain emotion that we're going through, then it becomes an addiction. Prime example, I remember years ago, I was in my 20s and I broke up with a boyfriend. Well, actually, he broke up with me. All right, be honest, he broke up with me. And I was depressed. I was real, distressed. So I wanted to go to sleep. And I was like, man, I just need to take something that's going to get me out of this pain. I wasn't actually saying that per se in my head, but that's what my body, my mind, will, and emotions was searching for, just an escape. So I took some NyQuil. And lo and behold, whenever I would get that emotion again, I took NyQuil again. And then lo and behold, I mean, this was over years time. Whenever I would get in those emotions where I just wanted to check out of reality, I would take NyQuil or Benadryl or some kind of downer that would just bring me down, stimulate me down. And yeah, so it became an addiction for me. I wasn't looking at it like it was an addiction, but I know it was an addiction now. And then even with the downers and stuff, I still had to wake up and go to work. So therefore, I had taken goody powder for a toothache that I had once, and it took the pain away. So I was like, okay. So I kept on taking the goody powders because I had a bad tooth that I needed to get repaired. But until I could get my tooth repaired, I was taking goody powders because, number one, it would take away the pain. And number two, it gave me an exhilarating feeling, like a rush of energy. I didn't realize what it was doing at the time, but in hindsight, hindsight is 2020, so we can see it clearly in hindsight. So in hindsight, I realize now that the caffeine in the goody powder, I didn't even know goody powder had caffeine because I really didn't read the ingredients back then. But it was the caffeine that was giving me like this, exhilaration, this rush. So guess what? I became addicted to goody powders, and addiction is a strong spirit. It's a spirit. It's a demon. Addiction is, and whatever the addiction or the habit, that spirit, that influence can capture, is the feeling that it's gonna capture, and it's gonna put you in this cycle of a stronghold that you just feel like you gotta run to in order to appease a certain feeling. So anyway, like a sexual addict, they run to sex. I don't think that it's per se we all grown here. I don't think that it's per se the ejaculation, per se, which, that's probably a plus, but I don't think that that's the reason why they run to sex. I believe that is that is fulfilling another bad habit. Maybe it's emotional distress that they're trying to cover up, and they're trying to do it in the name of finding love. Or maybe it's rebellion, or maybe it's a rejection that they're like trying to fulfill, and they're doing it in the name of sexual addiction. Because addictions, here's the key now. Listen. Here is the key. The addiction demon grabs a hold to whatever that family line demon is that's following your family line. Like my family has like problems with addictions. So therefore, it's real easy if I don't watch it for that spirit of addiction to cause me to get into this stronghold from, overeating. God forbid, I ain't trying to be no sex addict or nothing. So I'm just staying away from that, and I'm not even trying to be a drug addict. So I'm aware. So that's why I'm bringing awareness to the situation. Because whatever your tendencies are, that addiction demon is gonna grab a hold to that, and it ain't gonna. It's gonna be real subtle. It's going to be real subtle at first, but believe me, it's walking you down, and it's going to catch up with you. Somebody who spend money, shopping addicts, they spend money, they run up credit cards, they get a certain emotion of depression, or a certain emotion of men pleasing, where they want to like be like the Joneses, their neighbors and everything. So this addiction to like things, having the latest whatever, the latest cars, the latest, houses, the latest clothes, the latest whatever, shoes or whatever, it becomes an addiction, because you like the adoration of men. You like the adoration of the praise, and oh man, I like those shoes, I like those Jordans, when really it's turning into an addiction for you, because you want to keep getting that. You want to keep getting that praise and that adoration. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with, looking nice, buying new clothes, having a nice house, buying even the latest Jordans or whatever, but you have to like really like look and see what the real motivation and mindset is behind why you're doing what you're doing. I'm not saying caffeine is bad, with me with the goody powders, but I was abusing caffeine. I didn't even like coffee whenever I was abusing the goody powders. I didn't do coffee per se, because that addiction came in through them goody powders, because it would take any kind of pain away. And guess what? The goody powders, with it being so much caffeine, guess what? If I didn't take it, I would get a headache, and I didn't know why. But for real, whenever you don't do caffeine, you might get a caffeine headache. So it was just like a catch-22. It was like when I didn't take it, I would have a headache. So therefore, I would take it. And then I'd be like, I got to stop taking these goody powders. And then I wouldn't take it. But guess what? It would give me a headache. So I would take a goody powder. And I didn't even really realize the cycle that I was in. My back would hurt, or whatever. And I'd be like, man, I need a goody powder and all it is. So yeah. And as far as like shopping, the sex addict, you have your exercise gym bunny addicts, those that they go over. It's not a health thing anymore just to be healthy and stay in shape. It becomes a vanity, where people are giving you all kind of compliments and stuff on your body and everything. So it becomes like oh my goodness, I like the adoration. I like this. I like the praise. I like to show what I'm working with and all of that. So, and again, it's nothing wrong with being healthy, and going to the gym, but it's the mindset and the motivation behind what you're doing. If you're a shopping addict, if you know that you want something, and you can't afford it for real, and you going out running up credit cards, or what is it, you paying for what you want and begging for what you need, so it's something terribly wrong with that. You got to check the motivation. You have to check why you're doing what you're doing. Yeah, so I was thinking about addictions and everything, and like I said, it's the big pink elephant in the room that don't nobody want to talk about. But we're so quick to say, oh my goodness, they're on drugs, they're an addict, they're on drugs, or they're alcoholic, they're doing this and they're doing that. But guess what? What are you doing? What are you doing? What am I doing that's turned into an addictive behavior? Am I on my phone too much? No, I'm definitely not on my phone too much, but how many people are? They can't even go 10 minutes without looking at their phones trying to check out who posted something on Facebook. Or, or the latest video games, or binge watching TV, all of these TV shows that's programming your minds and everything, social conditioning your minds and everything. You got to watch that stuff. It becomes an addiction, and it shows. It shows. Drug addicts, they begin to start looking haggardly. They look like they on drugs after a while. It shows. Shopping addicts, it shows, because guess what? They're in a lot of debt, and a debt that they can't, keep up with or whatever, having to file bankruptcy or whatever. Well, a lot of people don't do bankruptcy. They just keep the debt and let it fall off, hopefully in 7 years, I guess. But they get in a lot of debt, and they become stressed. And guess what? That can drive you to drugs. It can drive you to having to check out, wanting to check out of reality, because basically, the drug epidemic that's going on, I truly believe that it's going on because of the mental anguish in this world today. People are losing their minds. They're losing their minds because really what it's all boiling down to. They're losing their minds because of the disobedience and the sins that they're doing underhandedly, that's showing outwardly now. Because a lot of times our woes and stuff is self-inflicted. It's self-inflicted. My woes was self-inflicted, and future woes will be self-inflicted. Is it coming from something that I'm not managing? Is it coming from something that I'm not doing correctly? See, those are the real questions. Those are the pink elephants in the room that people don't want to talk about. And many people will probably be ready to turn this, clip off because, you don't want to hear it. But just because a person don't want to hear something doesn't mean that it don't need to be said. That's just point blank. Because guess what? I hear a lot of stuff that I don't want to hear. But guess what? On down the road, that main thing that was said to me is the thing that I came back to, and the thing that jolted me into change. So, yeah. So watch your bad habits. Watch those habits. If you get distressed, if you get depressed or whatever, call on the Lord for real. Call on the Lord for real and let him heal you for real. Whenever you get in them stressful feelings and stuff, don't run to the alcohol. Don't run to the drugs. Don't run to sex. Don't run to what somebody else can give you that's only superficial, that's going to last only for a moment. Run to something that's going to sustain you through life. And I'm talking to myself too, because even now, if I start feeling a certain emotion, I'd be ready to just put my headphones on and lay down, listen to some YouTube clips and go to sleep. That's a bad habit. I mean, it's okay it's okay, but it can turn into a bad habit if I don't watch it, because that'll start being my way of escape from issues that I need to take care of. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that to your awareness and everything. And let's just do better. Let's do better. All right. Thank you for watching. All righty.